1,400 children have been exploited at the hands of these paedophile gangs. The resignation of Sean Wright is but a tiny victory for the victims involved. He needs to face the charges, of which there are probably plenty. But for starters, 1,400 counts of dereliction of duty in a public office, along with felicitating child endangerment. We demand that this man is arrested immediately and charged accordingly. There are many more that assisted these crimes, and they need to be brought to justice. Maybe if these people were arrested, it will play an integral part to ease the helplessness the victims have felt for all these years. Our thoughts and support go out to all the victims and families of Rotherham and every other victim across this country. Victims that have been subjected to the same treatment at the hands of these animals. Rotherham is just the beginning of many more cases and reports being publicised across this country. We are truly witnessing an endemic of mass proportions, an endemic of assisted child abuse. And we, the EDL, EDL, we, the EDL, must take a great part in helping to bring the child groomers to justice. We must carry on as we have done for the last 5 years. We are justified in every action we take over the protection of our children. Who's led? Who's led? Who's led? Right, you all know Ian Crossland from Camp Rotherham. Massive round of applause, please, Ian. Yorkshire, 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 Yorkshire. As most of you know, last week we did a demo in Rotherham. Successful as you can think. 2,500 to 3,000 people turned up in a little town like that to show that we're not going to stand for this government, the politicians and the system messing our kids about and failing our kids. We had support from all over the world. We were getting messages from anywhere you can think of. Even got a flag sent up, but it didn't arrive in time for Rotherham. Even the Aussies are supporting us. The Aussies know how to deal with these problems. The Aussies don't let them in. The Aussies sort them straight. Now they're starting to get this problem, but they're dealing with it how we should. Yes. We should deal with it hardcore. Have a look round you. Look here. Montgomery statue. Statue for women that were lost in war. These all fought for us. These all fought so we could have a free country. These all fought so we could walk in his own street, proud and without worry. That look straight behind me, they're the ones that are trying to give you away. Spineless little waste of space. The problem is the people of England that have put him there, and it's the people of England that need to get him out and get in a decent party that will look after us. Not treat us second rate, not treat us like this is all a form of apartheid. We all heard about this in South Africa and we all knew what it was. It's happening here now. It's assimilation and he's trying to make us second class in his own land and it won't happen. Rotherham was the first step in us taking our country and our pride back. That's going to happen up and down the country. These grooming gangs are everywhere. Rotherham's the first crack and it's the tip of the iceberg. We've got to deal with this and deal with it in a political manner. We've got to get them out and get our own people in. People who run us, people who respect us, and people who look after us. We pay their salary. We pay it, so we should get looked after and respected. Nobody's looping left. These waste of space. They want multicultural, borderless lands with an island race for a reason. We've got a 26-mile mile around us to keep that shite out. All this with ISIS, Islamic States, it's coming home. It's scum, yes, and it's coming home. Next year, Turkey are allowed in Europe if they pass the final test. That means 77 million Turks, and they're all liable and possible can come here, open borders, and we can't stop them. Where do you think ISIS and Islamic States are hiding? They're in Turkey, wanting to come here and take more of your land, more of your rights. Got to stop it. Whose lands? That's right. Our lands, my kids' lands, and I'm not going to let shit like that take it off me. This is our capital, and you walk round and you look like a foreigner in your own town because they've opened the borders to everybody. The people like Montgomery and all these got that up. All these statues that you've walked past, the people have fought and worked hard to make this country ours, and we're going to keep it ours. All streets. I only found out I was going to speak here yesterday, so you're not going to get a lot of sense out of me. But I know that this country is mine, and I will fight to keep it. You will fight to keep it, and it's the likes of you that will keep it England. Even the Scottish decided we're better off in Britain because they know what England is, and we will look after them. Thank you, I'll leave it short. First number 3 question, please.
We have become weak at the hands of our administration. They constantly push the leftist agenda in the hope that patriot movements will be silenced. You will never silence the EDL! Our media in this country feel the need to demonise us as far right under the control of the government. The far left extremists in this country use underhand tactics to try and bring about the demise of our free speech. Our overflowing patriotism for this country will shine through their lies and deceit, constantly calling us far-right, extreme, racist, fascists and bigots will not silence us. I will ask the government, the media and the far left extremists this: where is your proof of such allegations against us? Where are the facts that prove your vile lies? Look around the crowd right now. What do you see? I see patriotic people from all walks of life, not racists. I see people fighting for freedoms, liberties and justice. I see people protecting their culture, their history and their heritage. Unlike the far left extremists. Boo! extremists funded by the Labour Party. Hope Not Hate, the UAF, Antifa, Common Purpose and the like are all run by extremists. All these groups are run by people that want to realise the multicultural dream. A dream that includes and advocates child prostitution and abuse. This is very apparent when you see these so-called groups counter-protesting a defensive movement like the EDL. Open borders and mass immigration is also on their list to bring to this country. Bring our country to its knees, and it has already taken its toll on our resources, already taken its toll on our infrastructure and benefit system. You can't fit a pint into half a pint, no matter how hard you try. I say enough is enough! I say no more! We all say no more! Well, I think you all know Banksy. Banksy! Put your hands together, please, for Banksy! Alright people, got a bit of a rant for you here today. It's only about an hour and a half long. Right then, Mr. Cameron, you, sir, are supposedly the most senior politician in this country. And yet you allow the Trotsky Socialist Workers' Party to run all the unionised services in Britain. The NHS ended up with Stafford Hospital. The schools, well, our girls are taught how nice Islam is and are left defenceless. And the child services, which ends up with 1,400 girls getting groomed in Rotherham. Just today on the coach on the way down, a nurse was at Rotherham demonstration last week, and she's under suspension now. What is wrong about protesting against 1,400 kids being groomed? Right, so, the Socialist Workers' Party, they are a Trotsky communist organisation. So who was Trotsky? He was a Marxist-Leninist, hardcore communist who was responsible for the death of 4 million people. He formed the Red Army, and he was the chief architect of Russia's 74-year socialist nightmare. And in one sentence, he damned the entire democratic, freedom-loving, Western working-class people to annihilation by inventing the Socialist Workers' Party and the UAF's only weapon. And that only weapon is one word: racist. Everybody is scared of being racist, apart from us. We won't speak out. We don't care what colour you are, but if you're doing it wrong, you're wrong, and we'll tell you about it. UAF, Unite Against Freedom as we like to call them, are managed by the Socialist Workers' Party, the hard-left International Perpetual Revolutionary Party. Their allies include the IRA and Hamas, and you allow them free rein throughout our states, councils and schools, our police and media. The BBC in Bristol sacked a presenter, a mother, for asking for a non-Asian driver for her 14-year-old daughter. Sacked her for racism. So don't tell me, BBC, you didn't know this was going on. You did. You covered it up as well, you treacherous sods. Well, I'd actually say it a better way here. You PC fascists are not aware of the Muslim grooming. You were part of the cover-up. All of these are funded by our unions, the same people who fund the Labour Muslim-infiltrated Pedo Protection Party. They will destroy British democracy just as Hitler's socialists destroyed German democracy. Mr. Cameron, you and your political allies, the Trotsky Communist Social Party, have given us no choice but to defend our children. And you and your middle-class communist political allies, we have to defend our children.
on with it. We in the English Defence League have been shouting from every street corner about what has been happening to us. The abuse, the assaults, the rapes, the ethnic cleansing, Trotsky racism against the English by every other nation in the kingdom. And you, Mr. Cameron, you unleash the entire force of your politically correct English working class hating state against us. And yet still, we resist. All the false allegations you and the SWP have thrown at us, you, Mr. Cameron, are allowing false imprisonment, house searches, malicious prosecutions, harsh and disproportionate sentencing. In other words, Mr. Cameron, political prisoners. This is Britain. This is a democracy. Everybody is treated equal. Tommy Robinson got 18 months for lending a deposit on a house. 18 months for mortgage fraud, right? 6 women have just been sentenced for stealing £1 million each, stealing in a Ponzi scheme. They got 9 months. Where's the justice? Where's the equality? Where's the freedom? This is not British justice. This is communism, Mr. Cameron. Right, okay. Yeah, a bit, yeah. Right. Right, just for the officers around this place at the moment. Allah is about 14% of Islam's scriptures. On the other hand, Muhammad is 86% of all Islam's scriptures. So the term Mohammedan is accurate and factually correct. Mr. Cameron, it's time you use the full force of our law against the real sick people in this land, the Mohammedan rapists and their rape facility SWP, UAF, Labour Party paedophile protectors. Yeah. Last week I went on a bit about the SWP. Don't forget, these are in charge of every department in the land, every hospital, every school. These people sack on the drop of a hat. They'll give you a racist badge on your school kids' report if you fail to take them to mosque. Time to add to this, the Common Purpose graduate Joyce Thacker. I've had to rewrite my speech 3 times because of that stupid woman. Now she's gone. But when she in jail, she was a nasty bully who worked in Keighley at the same time Ann Cryer MP was trying to report Muslim grooming in Keighley. It is reported that Joyce Thacker ruthlessly sacked anyone who had the temerity to even mention the word Muslim. Joyce Thacker covered up mass rape of our children, your children. And this is going on in town after town after town. Derby, Rochdale, it's in Liverpool, Manchester, Bristol, Birmingham. Your children are not safe because of the Socialist Workers' Party. Now when you think about it, the Socialist Workers' Party are a perpetual revolution party. What's likely to cause a revolution? Them allowing us to have our kids raped, them allowing Muslims to rape our kids, it's certainly going to piss me off. This is part of their plan. They are trying to rile us to bring them into power. Be careful. We the EDL, we don't want revolution, we just want our government to look after us. Right? Right, we'll forget that bit. So, we have opposed. No, I am, I'm sure I am. Still I die. Still I die. Still I die. I know I am, I'm sure I am. I'm English. Still I die. Come on, guys, let me get on a bit. I believe you, I truly do. Many of you out here and me have gone up against the SWP and the pro-Hamas marches, the pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, anti-Israeli rallies, and you felt the pressure of Common Purpose police as they felt your collar. You were protesting against Hitler-funded fascist Muslim Nazi Brotherhood and their terrorist wing Hamas. Who opposed you? Who opposed you? Oh yeah, the Socialist Bloody Workers' Party. Now here's a surprise for you. The National Socialist Workers' Party leader, Hitler, said, to be a real socialist, you have to hate the Jews. I don't hate the Jews, I don't hate Israel. God bless Israel. Now, Hitler's Mein Kampf. It's it was Hitler's fascist democracy-hating manifesto for supremacy, and it's the second best-selling book in the Islamic world. All you Guardianistas assume that we're here out of bigotry and racism. You assume that the white working class just has to be racist. Yes, rubbish! I tell you here and now, you smug Guardianistas, we know why Muslims groom our children. We know why Muslims decapitate your friends. We know why my children are taken as slaves in Nigeria. We know why Islamic State is a global threat. And it is nothing to do with racism. It is to do with the Quran. The Quran is Muhammad's violent fascist manifesto for global imposition and domination and supremacy of Allah's law, the Sharia. Right. 33 times the Quran idolizes Muhammad as the perfect man, the perfect husband, the perfect father. That's why our Mohammedan friends dress the way they do, as Muhammad did. The way they toilet, the way they eat, the way they fight, as Muhammad did. Now the aim of this book, the Quran, is for everyone globally to live under the Sharia law. And it is the Sharia law that Mohammedans who live in this country will be insisting my 3-year-old daughter live under in her lifetime. Well, my father fought under that man. What's his name? Montgomery. He fought in the desert. He fought Hitler for 6 years to defend his laws and pass them on to me. And I will continue this fight to defend my laws against Sharia. I will dedicate my money, my time, my liberty and my life defending our Judeo-Christian culture and its laws. It's on a bit this one. I'm more than halfway through, guys, I promise. Marco Polo, he knew Islam firsthand. He said that the law given to the Mohammedan is that any sin they commit is no sin to them. Any sin they commit on us is no sin to them. With this Sharia law, Mohammedans without any conscience will continue to rape our women and children. Beheadings will become more commonplace. Mohammedans will continue to blow us up. They will grow ever more confident, more violent, until massacres here become as commonplace as Nigeria and Kenya. Oh, by the way, the Archbishop of Canterbury. Yeah. Mr. Cameron, why are our prisons full of Mohammedan raping, drug dealing, terrorist beheaders? We know why they are. We keep telling you why. It's because they live like Muhammad did. Mr. Cameron, you need to read the book, The Life of Muhammad. And in that book, you find out that the perfect man the Mohammedans described to us was a rapist, a child abuser, a slaver, a wife-beating, torturing, mass-murdering, Jew-hating Nazi. This is why they're full of Mohammedans. Mohammedans live by their laws. Mohammedans do not follow our morals. Mohammedans only live by Sharia law. And remember, under Sharia law, whatever they do to us is no sin to them. President Erdogan, the president of Turkey, a NATO member, there is no such thing as radical Islam. Islam is Islam. And there are already reports that Turkey has been assisting Islamic State. Turkey, a NATO member, assisting Islamic State. Don't forget, Every mosque throughout Europe is a fifth column for Islamic State. They're coming to get you. 25% of the staff at Heathrow are Muslim. IS has 11 airliners, is hugely rich, and equals invasion in hours. Get the buggers bombed! Bomb them now! Mr. Cameron, great spirits walk among this crowd. Great spirits, Gladstone, Churchill, Charles Martel, Pope Urban II, dozens of great big names that have fought Islam throughout history. And in the same place you call these peace, freedom-loving people the sickest in Britain, Gladstone said, this is in the Houses of Parliament, this is in the debating chamber. While ever the Quran exists, there will never be peace in the world. And you tell us to respect it? No way! Churchill, Islam in a man is as dangerous as rabies in a dog. He also took part in the destruction and the decapitation of the Mohammedan Caliphate, the Ottoman Empire. Mr. Cameron, the first victims of the Mohammedan Sharia law are Muslims, in particular Muslim women and children. Mr. Cameron, if you will not defend us from the Mohammedan Sharia state, we, the English Defence League, will be forced to defend freedom from Sharia law and you. Inevitably, Mohammedans will use the sword to make the Sharia supreme. It will be enforced by the Mohammedan sword, and the Mohammedans will rule by the sword, just as Muhammad did. Just look, Mr. Cameron, look at the utter chaos the Sharia brings to the Mohammedan world. Not a single culture throughout history has successfully coexisted with the Mohammedans. Eventually, Mohammedans will violently insist Mohammedans and Sharia law rule. Just look at Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan. Over the centuries, all other cultures are eradicated. Allah's law, the Sharia, and the perfection of Muhammad are all that remains. Perfection. There's a rapist, a child abuser, a slave, and a wife-beating, torturing, murdering, lying Nazi. Ever since the Hindu nation lost its capital, Kabul, now in Afghanistan, it has for a millennium endured repeated Mohammedan genocides, some of in living memory. Sikhism has had 4 or 5 of their gurus murdered by Mohammedans. Christianity, Buddhism, Judaism, all faiths have felt the bloody slaughter of Muhammad's sword. If you do not want the future of humanity to be Islam and the Sharia law, you need to identify your foe. You need to identify your foe. It is not dictators, despots or terrorists. It is the communists. And this book, Mr. Cameron, the Quran, this is a threat to the entire of humanity. Islam gives us 3 choices. Read it, find out how evil it really is. Read it. Islam gives us 3 choices: convert, slavery, or death. We, the English, say to the Mohammedan, convert, amend your evil book, or fuck off!
Put your hands together for Banksy! Our approach to the people in our society to wish harm to our children must be more robust. We must protect our children at all and any costs. Our authorities cannot be trusted with the welfare of our children. They cannot be trusted. All the world are unwilling to upset certain communities over fear or repercussions through the words they use against us. Yeah, that's right, the R words. Racist and racism. A word so revered, it was instrumental in the covering up of over 1,400 cases of child rape, prostitution and trafficking in one town in our country. How many more reports will there be from other towns and cities across this land? We came here to give the administration a message today. And look at the people that are here today. Patriotic people. Proud people that are sick of this dictatorship. We stand here outside the house of corruption. We see their plans. We see the corporations they represent. We see the back pockets that they sit in. We see the promises they break after they've been elected. Companies are important. We the people are not. Immigrants are important. We are not. Taxes are important. We are not. Profits are important. We are not. We call for change. We need normal common people in the Houses of Parliament, not the privileged. We need this country run by the people, for the people. Which brings me to our special guest speaker.
David Cameron.
Please put your hands together for Mr. Paul Weston.
So I'm a little bit too much of a dwarf for this one. Let me get it down. Right. Well, first of all, it is an honour and a privilege to be asked by the EDL to come down and speak today. Thank you very much. Secondly, I'm not going to talk about left-wing and right-wing here. I'm going to talk about good and evil. Civilization against barbarianism. Right against wrong. And when I look at this sea of proud, British, brave patriots, and then I look across there and I see quislings, cowards and traitors. It's just a shame they're not a bit closer. Now, I want to have a little chat with David Cameron today, because David Cameron thinks that every single one of you here is sick, as he calls it. The left is sick, Islam is sick, but most importantly, David Cameron is not just a coward, he is sick and he is a traitor to his country. David Cameron is on YouTube video saying there are too many Christian faces in the British government. David Cameron is on YouTube video saying he looks forward to the day there are more Muslims in our army, in our police force and in our government. Simon Hughes, the Liberal Democrat MP, looks forward to the day that there's a Muslim Prime Minister in this country. Well, we don't, and I don't. David Cameron is essentially a fully fledged traitor to his country. He needs to be told this. And David Cameron, when Fusilier Lee Rigby was beheaded, Cameron said this has nothing to do with Islam, as a Muslim stood over him with a bloody knife, quoting the fucking Quran. When David Haig was beheaded by a British Muslim in Syria, David Cameron said this has nothing to do with the religion of peace called Islam. Cameron, you're a liar and you're a traitor. David Cameron needs to be asked a question. Who was Muhammad? Was Muhammad, Mr. Cameron, a Muslim? Yes, he was. And if he was here today, he would be in Syria, jihading his way across the continent, beheading, raping and murdering as he went. And there is no way you can say that the religion that this man inspired has nothing to do with the behaviour of beheading, raping Muslims today. You're a coward and you're a fucking traitor, Mr. Cameron. EDL! Come on! Let's hear it for the decent people of this country! When I came down here today, I walked past a war memorial in my time, and I stood and I looked at all of those names on that war memorial that died to give us the freedom that all the Guardian readers and the BBC traitors take for granted. But they died for our democracy, and these people are handing our democracy over on a plate to the most savage, backward, barbarian, vicious, violent, evil ideology known to mankind. And it is called Islam, and it is not the religion of peace. Now, I don't know how many people from the EDL we got down here today and how many people are here who are not with the EDL, but I want to see the EDL grow into the biggest street movement in Europe. And then, in 6 months' time, I want to see you come back here with 10,000 people. I want to see us march from here down to the BBC headquarters, where we can let those fellow traitors and quislings in the BBC know exactly what we think about them in no pure, unadulterated terms at all. Now, thank you again so much for asking me to speak here. It has been an absolute honour. You are the best, bravest people in this country. Thank you very much. Very much. Thank you.
Can we get a hip hip? Hip hip! Hip hip! Banksy and Paul Weston, please! Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I was going to list every town and city that has been reported to have a child grooming endemic, but due to time constraints, I will say this. There isn't a part of the country at the moment that don't have victims of child abuse by men of the Islamic faith. The TUSC, the Respect Party, the Communist Party of Britain, the Socialist Workers' Party, the Workers' Revolutionary Party, the Socialist Party, the People's Party, the Peace and Progress Party, and the Socialist Action Group, and the Labour Party, to name but a few, have been instrumental in the breakdown of our society, our values and our culture. Is it any wonder why we're in the mess we're in right now? The Sharia law and Muslim appeasement by said organisation is paid for you. It's paid for by you, the British taxpayer. This appeasement to the foundations behind all Islamic terrorist organisations across the world is based upon Sharia law ideology. Our appeasing government here in the Palace of Westminster and our country's Prime Minister should grow a backbone. They should outlaw all concepts of Sharia law. It is already creeping into our legal system with the separation of wills, to male beneficiaries treating women as second-class citizens. It is entering our Christian marriage laws where they are permitted to have 4 wives. That is bigamy in our country and is prosecutable with a custodial sentence. Our government are also allowing multiple benefit claims within these illegal marriages, and it is us who are the victims. The taxpayer yet again picks up the bill for the sharia law appeasement. I've just been asked to point your direction at something. Eyes right, please. The memorial to the women of World War II. Do you see a burqa? Yeah, put your hands together actually for all the women of World War II. Let's hear that. We look at our TV screens with a terrorist groups such as IS, Boko Haram, Taliban, Hamas, Al-Qaeda, FSA. All these terror networks operate and want to implement Sharia law across the world. Our governments have declared war on these networks. Why aren't they declaring war on the radicals in our country? The hate preachers using our free speech laws to promote division. Let's hear you then. EDL! The hate preachers using our free speech laws to promote division, hatred and Sharia law, and not assimilation, for instance, should be dealt with swiftly and robustly to stop the radicalisation of the youth and the spread of the cancer that is Islam in our Christian land. Whose land? Whose land? Whose land? We demand action from our administration. We demand the searching of every mosque in this country. These fortresses are being used against us. They are radicalisation centres for the weak-minded followers of the cult that is Islam. We demand as a people the right to defend our culture as a Christian society without being labelled as racist for doing so. Long and distant is the road to victory. Loneliness is the path taken by patriots. Ridicule and alienation present itself at every opportunity. Our small steps are becoming strides as we go forward to defend all that's great and just in our land. We will not fail in our duties as a people. We will show honour and great courage. We will show the spirit that has been instrumental in our survival as a nation to this day. Our veins are still, our minds strong. History will be made against the tyranny we face. Let it be said that on this day, the fight is ours, and we welcome the trials that will make us great once again. We are English until we die. Listen, you've all been absolutely fantastic today. I want to just a little round of applause for the police, please. They've treated us really, really well today. Thank you very much for your hard work. Just leaves me to say to each and every one of you, thanks very much for coming out and supporting like you do. You are all great, wonderful people. Our time will come very soon. I'm out of here, I'll speak to you later.
All streets! All streets! All streets! Loud voice for all of these to know. Everybody needs to remember our fucking streets. Straight behind us are one of the enemies we've got, UAF. He's saying EDL racists off our streets. I don't see a racist here. See, proud. Yes, you're white. White does not make you a racist. White does make you indigenous in this country, and that gives you more rights than any immigrant that wants to walk through them borders. White is national here. And we're not racist. I've got black mates, I've got Asian mates, and I don't mean Asian, Chinese, Indian. When they talk about these grooming gangs and they say they're Asian, that's camouflage for Pakistani, Muslim, rapist bastards. Don't disguise it, we all know what they are. They're our kids that are getting touched up. They keep saying we've one main enemy in this country. We haven't. There's 2.6 million Muslims in this country, and every one of them would have your soul and your life if they could. You're scum to them, and we need to put them straight. A moderate Muslim will hold your feet while an extremist cuts your throat. They're all the same, one in the same. They all piss in the same pot. Then we've got half a nation of lefties, half a nation of shitehouses like the ones behind us that want to give it away, and they call us scum. Can you hear the feeble little voices? They've got a sound system like they are, and the little weak voices still can't be heard because it's shit. Just like the ones in the buildings behind us. Cameron, moron, all lot of them. Call them Labour, not one of them have done a day's labour in their life. We need to get a government back in with a spine. We do. We need a new Churchill. Whether you like it or not, we need a new Thatcher. She had a fucking spine. And she died of a broken heart, seeing shit like that ruining our country. We need to get somebody in who's got some balls. The only way to get them in is vote. The only way to get these shits out that are reading the Quran and reading it as a war manual, as a declaration of war, to cut your throat because you're shit. I don't see no shits here. You read that book, you all keep saying burn it. I recommend you read it and you can see how vile that book is. It says a Muslim should never take a kafir as a friend. It says they should build arms to wage war on the infidel. Let them fucking try. Because we've got enough manpower here to turn a shit house like that over. Not a problem. This should have a uniform, this should be an army, and we should take these streets back off that shit. We should be going through Birmingham, Sheffield, Bradford, and shoving them back out of the country. They can shove the fucking Islam up their arse. We don't want them, we don't need them, and we'll get rid of them. Quran 2:1. Slay the unbelievers where you find them. Muhammad, come and slay me. Quran 3:28. Muslims must not take infidels as friends. Well, I don't want to be friends with them. They can piss off. 385. Any religion other than Islam is not acceptable. Well, to me, all religions are acceptable. All of it declares war on another person. Get them out. Ship them off. Even the Catholics are siding with the Muslims now. Get rid of a lot of them. Terrorise and behead those who believe in, disbelieve the scriptures and only believe in the Quran. Behead them. I'm still here. Still haven't tried it. The unbelievers are stupid and urge all Muslims to fight them. I don't see stupid here. I see some not as smart as others, but none of you are fucking stupid. When opportunity arises, kill the infidel wherever you can. Does this sound like a declaration of war to you? That book is evil and that book should be destroyed. But read it first and then you know what they're trying to fight you with. They're trying to fight you with a 7th century doctrine and a 7th century cult. It's not a religion, it's a cult. And finally, Quran 47:4. Do not hanker for peace with the infidels. Behead them when you catch them. Every one of them statements I've just read out involves killing you. Killing you. We're here. Let them come, try and kill us. They come to Dewsbury, but the fake shits come 2 hours late. No brain amongst them. And they follow a murderer, a rapist, a slave trader, a thief. And that's how they think they should live. Just like they did, shagging our kids while they go. Well, that ain't going to happen on my watch. And I'm sure it won't happen on yours. Like Paul Weston said, build this up with the biggest street movement Britain's ever seen. Let's make us the biggest Europe's ever seen. And let's sort this shite out. And sort it out from now. Get them out. Get them Aussies out and get England proud. Put the great back into Britain. Thank you.
Well, I've just got to say, what a fantastic day we've had. We're all heading off that way, all right? We've had a fantastic day. Let's not let the side down. All leave peacefully. The police are very, very police with how we've actually gone about a demonstration today. They said it's the best one they've had, all right? So a round of applause for the police again, please. Keep it nice and peaceful, and be safe. Well, there you go.